Great. That's perfect.
Greetings, colleagues. Welcome to the Ivory Attic. I'm Ian Isherwood.
And I'm Kurt Andreessen.
And we have a very special show for us, right, Kurt?
Oh, man. Well, you already heard it.
We already heard it. When have we had a person of such talent on this podcast?
Well, they normally won't come.
Yeah. But we do today. We have one of our colleagues from Gettysburg College.
Yes, absolutely. And we're also and we're somewhere new. So it's like a double. We should just tell people.
We didn't drag a piano up to the attic of my garage. Instead, we are here in the Sunderman Conservatory of Music at Gettysburg College.
Yeah, it's nice here.
It's very nice. There's two pianos in an office. I've never seen two pianos in an office before.
Twice as many as both of us have.
So we are so lucky to have Professor Jocelyn Swigger with us, Professor of Music and Coordinator of Keyboard Studies here at Gettysburg College. Jocelyn's been here since 2004, has a Bachelor of Music from Oberlin College. I'd love to hear about Oberlin College.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those really, really cool colleges. Not that ours isn't cool, but Oberlin's like really cool.
I don't think it's as cool as Oberlin.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah, okay.
I had a friend from high school who went to Oberlin. She was like really cool.
I think I was going to say, I think the people had to be cool.
Yeah,
I was going to say
that's a lot of cool people there. Jocelyn also is a Master of Music and a Master of Arts and a PhD from the Eastman School of Music.
Can I undo everything about me being cool by correcting what you just said about my degrees?
Oh, no. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's
I'm going to be that guy.
No, that's fine.
Great. I like this. This is a good start.
So I actually have a BA from Oberlin College,
okay,
but I have a Bachelor of Music from Oberlin Conservatory.
Oh, right, okay.
And my degree from the Eastman School of Music is not a PhD, it's a Doctor of Musical Arts, which is a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It is real.
It is
cool.
A thing.
That's great.
You can see them. They're there.
Okay, great. Oh, well, I should have looked before.
Yeah, anyway.
Before you started.
So you can. I've undone the idea of me being cool, but
no, that's
not. No, it actually seems even cooler.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. I was going to say that.
Yeah, and it's a show first. It's the first time we've had a correction on a bio. Right. So I'm kind of loving it.
Well, I mean, I think it shows the way that you're slipping.
Yeah, that's so I had much more to say, but I was going through Jocelyn's 15-page CV of performances, recitals, lectures, recordings, and there's just too much to talk about. So I figured we would have Jocelyn just tell us about herself and her journey. So tell us where you're from.
Well, first, welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to have you here, even though I just started by correcting it.
No, it's great. Listen, if more people corrected us, then our show would probably be better.
We're used to, yeah. And we're pretty used to it. I mean,
it's absolutely
true. You're in physics, I'm in history. There's a lot of correction that happens. So.
Almost entirely, yes, exactly. That was my most recent evaluation said, nice guy, but doesn't really know physics.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow. Well, what I understand about quantum physics, that means that you have it exactly right, though.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
And then I had a sort of eastward journey about coming here, and I've been here in Gettysburg for 20 years. And as you perhaps have heard, I am a pianist, and that means that the work that I do is really, really different from the kind of work that most of my colleagues do. And it also means that my teaching is actually really different from what a lot of my colleagues do, because as you guys can see, most of my teaching happens in this room where there are two pianos. And so the student plays one piano and I play the other piano. And this is my classroom, not just my office. So the kind of practicing that I do, I think, is really different from what other people do, and also exactly the same. And so there's a lot of interesting things about finding ways of keeping ourselves motivated and interested and finding problems that are the right size to work on.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what most of my practice is finding problems the right size. I'm just sort of free-flowing here. What do you want to know?
So what drew you to music?
What drew you to
What
music?
drew you to music?
What drew me to music? I mean, so I grew up in a very, very musical household. My father was a really not good violinist, but the first thing that he would do in the morning was turn the radio to the classical station. And then when it was time for all things for morning edition, he would turn it over to NPR, and then he would immediately turn it back to the classical station. And so I grew up with music in the house all the time. My grandfather was a Spanish professor and was good friends with the conductor who was a professor there at the University of New Mexico. And my mother loved music very much and sang all the time. And so I grew up in a really musical house. When I was 4 or maybe 5, we were living in a house briefly that had a piano, and my mom said that they couldn't keep me away from it. And I even found a report card from my preschool that said, Jocelyn likes to play the piano. But although I don't really remember playing the piano very much at that preschool, but apparently I liked it. And I was incredibly lucky, really astoundingly lucky in my musical training. I had excellent teachers from the very beginning.
Okay.
So I started taking lessons when I was 5, and I had a teacher who gave me a really nice, solid grounding in music theory, which is the mathiest part of music that I really, really love. And then I was studying with college professors from the time I was about 9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I got a really advanced, lucky, wonderful education. And I figured out when I was probably about 9 or 10 that if I practiced piano before dinner, I could get out of setting the table.
Oh, okay.
But if I didn't practice piano before dinner, I was going to have to set the table, and then they were going to make me practice piano after dinner anyway.
Right,
Yeah.
good.
And so I did. So that did contribute to my practicing on my own. So any parents out there listening, looking for tips and motivating your kids, I'm not kidding. Getting out of something can be a good way to get your kid to practice.
Yeah, I like that. That's really good.
Yeah.
So did you like at what point did you think, like, because there are lots of people who learn to play the piano. Like, at what point did it click for you that this might be a career?
This is the thing. Yeah. So when I was in 10th grade, my piano teacher, who was the college professor, retired, and I started taking lessons with his replacement, who was Evelyn Bronkar, who is now at Indiana University Jacob School, and wonderful, wonderful foundational teacher for me. And she said to me, "You can be a concert pianist."
Wow.
And I didn't know what that meant. I actually thought that meant that I was going to be really famous. I didn't know what that meant. And I didn't have any idea that might mean that I would have music as a really huge part of my life and play a lot of concerts, but not be like on what I then thought of as the Johnny Carson show, right? So that was important to hear that, and I also just really loved music. Like, I just really loved it. I loved playing. I loved figuring it out. I loved the piano. I didn't have many opportunities to play with other people when I was young, because pianists, we practice by ourselves, right? We don't get to be an orchestra and band. But then once I started doing that, I loved it. Loved playing with other people. And then there was like a whole kind of crisis of faith thing that happened when I was a teenager, where I realized that I was not going to be famous, and that I could do the math. I figured it out. And then some other things were going on where I felt like, oh well, I'm not going to be a pianist. Because that's not a thing.
Right.
I can't do that. And then I thought, I'm going to be an English professor.
Okay.
I guess I'm going to be an English professor, but I really like playing the piano. So I auditioned for Oberlin planning to be an English professor, and I
Oh, wow.
went into their
Okay.
double degree program, and I had a real like it was really a crisis of faith and pretty rough. Like
Yeah.
it was hard, and whatever, people have hard times. That was a hard time. But so then I went to Oberlin, and then I really loved playing, and then I got to play with other people, and I really loved that. I loved collaborative playing. And some of my closest friends in the world right now are still people that I played with then.
Oh, that's great.
And it really wasn't until I did my junior year abroad in London, where with the English program, where I didn't have access to a piano for more than 4 hours a week. And when you only have access to a piano for 4 hours a week, they all are terrible hours because
sure.
you're not practicing enough, and you
Right.
sound bad. It feels bad. And so I ended up spending like a lot of my semester abroad in the fetal position crying because I wasn't practicing piano. And that was the best thing that could have happened, because I went, well, this is clearly not a functional way for me to exist in the world. This isn't going to work. So, all right, I guess I better figure this out. So, so then after that, I really was sure that this is what I wanted to do as a profession in some way, right? Like, however this works, I have to be doing this thing, playing music. Yeah. So I could talk about that endlessly, but that's a little bit of sort of how I got into it. But I will say also that one of the things that really drew me to music, and this is probably what you were asking actually, is that I felt like music was harder for me than everything else.
Yeah.
Like everything else that I tried to be good at in school, I got an A and did great, right? And music just kept being hard, and it kept being hard. And I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And maybe if I were a different kind of person, I would have gone, oh, let me do the thing that is easy. And I have this quote here that I don't know if I believe this, but I can't stop thinking about it. So I wrote it on a little piece of paper so I could see it a lot. This is from Yehudi Menuhin, who was a famous violinist of the 20th century. He said, "There's no such thing as a difficult piece of music. A piece is either impossible or easy. The process whereby it migrates from one category to the other is called practicing."
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
And so, I feel like finding my way to making things be easier and easier has been just a huge part of my professional life, which means that I keep doing harder and harder things, but then making them possible, right? Yeah.
So do you think that's part of the reason that you became a teacher?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to hear about my big moment about becoming a teacher?
Of course.
Yeah. So I started teaching lessons when I was, I think, 16 to just some neighbor kid down the block, right? But once I had my big, I'm going to be a musician moment, my plan was that I was going to go to New York City and I was going to be an accompanist there.
Okay.
And I was going to probably work at the Met, maybe work on Broadway, like you do.
Right.
Which is probably what would have happened. But I had a year after graduating from Oberlin where I did go and freelance in New York City. And I realized I just couldn't play as well as I wanted to. I just didn't have the chops that I needed. And I decided that I really needed to go to grad school and get my playing together. I just couldn't play the way I wanted to. So I did. I went to Eastman and got a master's degree there. And I swore up and down that I was not going to get sucked into the doctoral program. I was going to go there, get my technique together, learn how to play, come back to New York City, and then be this was the plan. But then in the last semester of my master's degree, a sabbatical replacement job fell in my lap.
Oh, wow.
And it was just pure nepotism. It was the worst hiring practice. It was terrible. But I walked into my piano lesson one day and my teacher said, "There's a job for you in Colorado if you want it." It's like, okay. Because somebody needed to come and finish coursework and wanted somebody with the same kind of technique and general principles. So I ended up going out to Colorado to Fort Lewis College and teaching there for a year when I was 26. And that was fantastic because I felt like I can't be a teacher. I don't know anything. I can't. But then I got there and I had some students where I went, well, I don't know anything. Oh, but I know more than you about that particular thing.
Yeah.
And that was really the year that I had this kind of neon sign in the sky say, "Jocelyn, be a college professor." Because I felt a lot of conflict when I was in college about... because it was Oberlin, right? And I'm such an Oberlin person. there was a lot of feeling of wanting to march around and save the world,
Right.
which I still have, right? Like I still want to march around and save the world. But then there was also this feeling of, well, I really want to spend a lot of time practicing piano in this little room by myself. But when I'm practicing piano, spending all this time in the little room by myself, how is that marching
How
around,
is it?
right? Like,
Right.
so
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
really felt like a conflict. And then when I found teaching, it felt like, oh, well, the hours that I spend in the little room by myself are so that I can then help other people figure out how to do this. So it really put everything together in a nice way. So then I went back to grad school, got sucked into the doctoral program because I needed a GMA to do it. And then there were no piano jobs. I got like 7. I mean, there were some jobs. I kept interviewing and being a final candidate and not getting the position.
Oh, no, yeah.
But then I had 2 years that were wonderful freelancing in New York City, which was so fun. And then came here and
Oh, wow.
and then have been here ever since. So anyway, that's a little bit of yeah.
So when you first came to, I mean, Gettysburg is a small liberal arts college. It's in the middle of Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania. I mean, it's certainly a different vibe than Oberlin, different than New York City, a little bit from what I've
little
heard.
bit.
A little different from
Little
Brooklyn, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you came here, what did you initially think?
Well, I actually remember when I was on my interview, I went out to dinner with Buzz Jones and Rob Natter and Louis Padell, who's not here anymore. He went back to Australia. And they spent like 15 minutes of the dinner talking about lawn care. And I thought, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. And I will say that I have certainly had many conversations
About long.
lawn care and about gardening. I think, okay, maybe I actually.
It's really funny.
But I actually really like. I like being in a small town. There's a lot that's great about being in a college town, right? Like
Yeah.
I love that I can go to a concert by myself and intermission is a party because
Yeah,
you just see
yeah.
everybody that you want to see,
Yeah.
right? Yesterday I brought my son to play at the ice cream social after the jazz band doing the ice cream social right after the orchestra concert, and there were like 20 people there. I was really excited to see because it's like my friends with their kids, and so I like. There's a lot that I like about the small town, and I also like that I'm able to go other places.
Yeah.
Like I just was in Boston for the weekend, and that was really wonderful. So it's good to be able to get to other places. I think if I were just here and not going to New York and other places, then I would feel like, what am I doing? Talking about lawns, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I can talk about lawns and also go to other places, it's good. It's good. But it was a transition and a cultural shock for sure.
Yeah.
I bet.
It took
Oh.
a while to get used to.
Yeah, I'm sure. Kurt's from central Pennsylvania, so I think a little bit less of a culture shock for you.
Yeah, although my parents were both from New York City.
Oh, they were. That's right. Yeah.
So, but yes, I mean, I grew up. It was not a culture shock.
Yeah.
Everyone always used to say how small this place is. I was like, I'll show you. I can show you
Yeah.
a small place.
You know, it's funny because I was thinking, I'm getting very nostalgic these days because my 25th college reunion is in just a couple weeks now, and I was thinking about the moment that I left Gettysburg as a senior because I just watched everyone pack up their cars this weekend and then leave, and they were all crying and things like
Yeah.
that. And I wasn't crying. I packed up my car and I put on Springsteen's Thunder Road. And I said, like, okay, we'll do the nostalgia thing and then I'm out of here. Like,
Yeah.
and I never thought I'd come back here. And I'm very glad that I did. And now I consider it more of a home than any place I've ever had. But yeah, I had that moment when I was like 22 and I was like, I'm not going to live in a rural place ever again. And now I love it. So it's strange. And mostly
And
it's
you
because
still
of what
get-
you were saying, Jocelyn. It's about that sense of community. Like,
Yeah.
like I love the fact that when we go to Robe Up for graduation,
Yeah.
like I love just talking to people
Yeah,
I normally don't talk to and seeing, you know, so
Yeah. When you're still listening to Springsteen.
I am still. Yeah.
So Jocelyn, one thing, I'm curious because I feel like the way that you teach, you know, is so fundamentally different than the way that that a lot of the rest of us teach.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because like and at one on one level, I could imagine there be something being really satisfying about obviously like having these nice one-on-one, almost like tutorial style of things. I also can imagine that like whenever people have not done their work, that it is that much more infuriating.
This is going to sound really Pollyanna, but I try to approach every student with the mindset that they're doing the best that they possibly can.
Yeah.
And sometimes the best that they possibly can is not good.
Right.
Like sometimes, sometimes they come in and they're sleepy, or somebody broke up with them, or they just wrote 5 papers. Like it happens. I think I mostly don't get mad about it. I really, truly.
That's impressive, because I don't think I could do it.
I think that they mostly are trying.
Yeah.
But I also have a really wonderful situation that I think is different from most people on this campus, which is that for the most part, everybody who walks through that door wants to learn what I have to teach.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not like the calculus teacher where people are like, oh God, like, no, people come here because like, oh, I want to play the piano.
Yeah.
And then even if they don't necessarily have the bandwidth that week to do what we had said that they were going to do the previous week, it's not because they hate it or they hate me. Or, I mean, maybe they hate me. I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't, I sort of don't get angry.
Don't get angry.
I certainly sometimes get disappointed and and sometimes it's hard to like get the energy up if they're not ready. Yeah. But then that really, really cool thing about getting to work with the music that I work with is even if they're completely unprepared, we can usually find something really interesting to talk about because we're working with Bach or Brahms or Beethoven or, Piacevic or Agnes Tyrrell or all these so even if they're not ready, we can find something interesting to look at in the actual music. Like, look at this thing, and when you practice this, hopefully this week will be better. Make sure that you think about it this way and do this and do this. So
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. Well, speaking of, you mentioned Agnes Tyrrell. So tell us about this. This is what you've been working on lately, right?
Yes, this is my big giant project till the end of my life. I'm not kidding. Like I'm serious. Like this is the project. So Agnes Tyrrell was this amazing unknown composer in late 19th century Moravia. She was a fantastic pianist, and she wrote a significant body of work that has been beautifully, lovingly cared for in the archive in acid-free paper and like the pretty little envelopes. And nobody knows about her, but her music is incredible, and I've been learning it and performing it, and I'm on a big mission to make her known and make her music heard because it totally deserves it. It's complicated and passionate and often very funny and often joyful, and it really beautifully crosses, like it not crosses the line, it walks the line between being in the rules so that you can predict some of what you're going to hear, but then breaking the rules in interesting, delightful ways. So, it's not totally like, it's not just like random atonal stuff, but it's also not right. Like, you're like, okay, well, it does different things. So I'm just absolutely delighted to have found this music. And mark your calendars, September 19th, I'm going to be doing a world premiere performance of her set of 12 etudes.
Oh, wow.
Her 12 concert etudes that she wrote that are so good. And yeah, I'm completely obsessed. And I think this is going to be the project for the rest of my life.
So that's a big
really
thing
amazing
to say.
Yeah,
and,
I'm serious.
And in kind of trying to prep for this interview, I went to several sources. I went to the world-renowned Wikipedia page, which is not very good for her.
No, it's not great.
It's really, really short.
There's not a lot.
Really short.
There's not a lot.
So then I went to your blog, which is much better.
Thank you.
much better and much more detailed. And I was trying to figure out, because I'd like to hear from you about like your research process, because I do a lot of research in archives too, just not the same sort of archives or same sort of stuff. But I want to hear about you going into the archives and kind of your process of discovery with the music.
Sure, great. It's been so cool. It's so cool. So first of all, I didn't know what I was going to find in the archive. Okay, let me back up actually. So I found Agnes because I was flipping through the Norton Grove Dictionary of Women Composers, and the page opened to her entry, and it said that the composer Franz Liszt had praised her etudes and suggested some fingerings for them, meaning which finger goes on which key, right? And Franz Liszt was the most famous pianist of the 19th century. Right. So this is like, I don't know, it's like if you're a songwriter and you dedicate a song to Taylor Swift, and she like calls you up and says, oh, I was thinking that maybe in the third verse you might consider doing this little change. Right. Like, I don't know if that's the right, but in terms of fame, that is the right, that is the right analogy. Yeah. So I just thought, if this is piano music that Liszt engaged with enough to think about what fingering goes on what note, this is probably interesting. And so I started just getting in the habit of Googling Agnes Tyrrell every once in a while, and there was nothing. And then in December 21, this wonderful pianist and musicologist in Leipzig, Kira Stekove, released a book of Agnes pieces, which is over there somewhere. And so I got it, and I was reading through it, and I just kept swearing because it was so good. Like, it's so good. I'm going to get to your question in a minute, I promise. And so then I thought, I got to get to the archive and find these etudes, because Kira didn't publish the etudes. So I got a grant, an RPD grant from here, to go to Brno, which is about halfway between Prague and Vienna in the Czech Republic, and go to the archive and see. And I just didn't know what I was going to find, right? Because when you go to the library website, after you put it through Google Translate to put it in English, because my Czech is, I can order beer and coffee and that's about it. I can say thank you, but still. But once I got there, they said you can only see, you must request 2 weeks in advance, and you can only have 5 documents. They have all these really specific rules. And so I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go there and I'm only going to get to look at 5 pages of the first etude, but maybe I can say, I don't know. But I went, and I also didn't know if the archive was going to be like a cardboard box.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Like, is it a cardboard box? Or like, does it look like this office and everything's a giant mess? Or does it, I don't know. And there were definitely some cardboard boxes there, but they had everything filed and cared for. And then they were so generous with me, and they let me take hundreds of photographs my first visit. My first visit, I was there for 3 days. And I went through the first 5 things I had requested in like the first half hour, because I was just with my phone going, turn the page, take a photo, turn the page, take a photo. And they charged me for that, but they were so generous to let me do it, right? Amazing. And then I also didn't know what Agnes's handwriting was going to be like. And I didn't know how clear the copies were going to be. And if you look at somebody like Beethoven, it's this gigantic scrawl, and like the everything is scratched out, and you can't believe that anybody was able to like actually read this and turn it into the music that we know now, right? Agnes left absolutely perfect, clear, readable, fair copies. Oh, wow. And I think it's because she had trouble getting published, but she knew how good she was. And so I really think that, I'm serious, I think she left the music for us, for me, right, she left it, not only for me. But anyway, so I had this incredible thing where I went there and I was able to take these hundreds of photographs, and the handwriting is perfect. And so, and I've never done research like this before. Like, this is really new for me. I have played music that composers who are friends of mine have written. So I've played plenty of music that I've never heard before I played it. Like, I've done that a lot. But, and I've done some of it from manuscript, because I was in grad school a million years ago before notation software was a thing. So I feel like this project, in a way, is taking all of my skill sets that I've acquired through my whole life and bringing them together. And then it's just been such an amazing, fun journey. Like, something that has happened often enough that I now think of it as commonplace and barely even notice and don't even get excited about it, is that there will be something really complicated in her music that I'm practicing slowly because I have to, because there's no way I can play it at tempo. and then I'll wake up with the music at a tempo in my head.
Oh, cool.
That's happened so many times, right? So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to walk around with her music in my head. And I am listening to music much less lately because I'm sort of enjoying listening to like the Agnes music in my head. And I feel a great weight of responsibility about it.
Right.
Right? Because if I play Chopin and I don't play very well, people are going to think I'm lame. But they're not going to think Chopin is lame. Right? But if I play Agnes and I don't play very well, people might think Agnes is lame.
Right.
And Agnes is not lame. Right? So even though I've done all this work, oh my gosh, all this work in myself and in my teaching about battling perfectionism, there is an element of, but actually, Swigger, you got to play all the notes right for this one. This one, it actually has to be really good. So that's kind of interesting to think about too.
That's interesting.
And I don't know how that matches with your manuscript archival research.
It does. It's not as fun, and I don't, and I don't wake up hearing the voices of the dead in my head. And none of my people were particularly musical, but they. But at the same time, the process of discovery is the same.
Yeah.
And I have not lost, in the many years I've been doing this, that sense of excitement of opening up a new box of material.
Yeah.
And wondering what exactly is in it.
Yeah.
And I think that I actually really admire your commitment to kind of getting things right, because one of the things that I really struggle with as a historian is the idea that when you're framing someone's life or you're trying to write about their story, that there is a kind of an ethical obligation to get the story as right as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. And with her music, I think it's really compelling, that idea that like nobody's really heard it, and so you're the person who's interpreting it. You're the person who's performing it so that a wider public will understand it. And I bet that burden is significant. But it's a joyful burden, I suppose. It's that too.
I mean, you said it exactly right. Like, I want to get it as right as I can. Yeah. So one of the things one of the only things that I'm mad at her about is she didn't write metronome markings, which, is the click that gives you the exact beat per minute, right? She just didn't write that. So she gives tempo markings that are like fast. And I'm like, what does that mean? Right? Like, is this fast? I'm like, anyway, so this is thirds. So that feels plenty fast. But she probably actually wanted to be more like, which means I'm going to have to practice a lot more.
So speaking of which, I mean, like, so now that you kind of turn around, I'm curious, like, do you have a specific piece or like a specific passage that you feel kind of captures the type of thing that drew you to her, or that has, do you know what I mean? Like, that is kind of uniquely her?
Yeah. This is the 11th etude.
Okay.
It's not quite as flashy as some of the other ones, but anyway, it has some of the feelings of, I think, joy and also little surprises. So there's these moments like here, like this is fine. This is sort of normal. I could maybe write that. But I sure wouldn't write this. What? It's so beautiful. Right. So there's
it's just gorgeous.
It's just beautiful. Yeah. And I know sometimes I've had a couple people ask me like, well, do we need more piano music? I'm like, I actually think the world needs more beautiful music all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Like, yes, we need it.
Well, especially ones that do different things that we haven't heard before, and like these little turns that can make you interested. And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need more beauty in the world. The one thing we don't need is more physics, I'll tell you that. Maybe put the brakes on the physics for a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm doing cocktails.
So I've switched your research focus.
Exactly. Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
Yeah. So what? I think maybe it's obvious, but what types of things are bringing you joy these days?
I'm going to give a really nerdy answer.
That's good.
Which
We
is
like
that
those.
I think I get a lot of joy from Apollo sides of things and also from Dionysus sides of things. And so the Apollo sides of things are a lot of noticing. I mean, actually, I just really love a good epiphany. And it can be small, right?
Yeah,
and it can be dumb.
Yeah.
But the moment that I don't understand something and then I do understand it, I love that. I love that. It can be something like, oh, this is the same tune as this. Which in that context, hopefully is pretty obvious. But when there's a bunch of other business happening, you might miss it. Or it can be like, I actually put an annual reminder in my phone this year that was, your terrible cold is probably allergies. Take a Claritin.
You're
but I was
walking
so
around,
happy.
the tree
Like, I had
pollen's
this-
literally
I had
falling.
This endless cold. I was like miserable, walking around like with I couldn't go anywhere without a box of Kleenex, and then I was like, I wonder what happens if I take some medication, and then I was fine. I was like, oh my
So
God.
that might be the best professorial epiphany
Is it really?
we've heard
Is it
yet on
really
the podcast.
good? It's really good.
but so I love that. I get a lot of joy from like figuring something out, and sometimes it can be a lot of times it's not verbal actually, because if it's at the piano, I get a lot of joy from like, this thing feels hard. Now it feels easier if I move my elbow this way, right? Or if I move my hand to this position, that feels better. Love that. I love getting better at stuff. Like I am really proud that I learned how to stand on my head at age 50.
That's good.
And I get a lot of joy out. So then moving more to the like Dionysus side of things, I think I get a lot of joy out of earthly pleasures. Like I love beautiful landscapes, and I've had some chronic pain in my life at some points, and I'm very happy that I don't right now. And just the feeling of walking in the world and being able to stand tall and feel a breeze and see some sunlight is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. I do also, there are people that I love, but I know I'm not supposed to talk
You're
about
not.
them.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
We'll assume
we're
you
not-
already said in that and that I
right.
cut it out.
Yeah, but I love to dance. Obviously I love music. I mean that, but I sort of love music in a like it's part of who I am,
Yeah.
not it's a fun thing I do sometimes. Like it's so it's I love that. I think I love noticing. A lot of the moments of joy that I have are when I go, oh, that, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be my noticing something. Like I get excited if a student notices something, or if I read something that points something out.
Yeah.
So I like these little moments where you like, oh, I understand the world a little better than I did a second ago, or oh, I never thought of that. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably why a lot of us do what we do, or for those little moments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of epiphanies, but I do like watching them in other people.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I was thinking I'm just happy when like an experiment I've done 20 times goes a little bit better than on the 21st time. Like I'm like, yeah, cool.
Better is the goal.
No, it's always
Better
the goal.
is
It's
the goal.
always a goal.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you do enough better, eventually it's good enough.
Right. That's right. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Which is what we're always going for.
And then good enough keeps getting better.
Exactly,
right? So
exactly.
something that I'll do now where I'm like, oh, that was terrible, would have been delightful if I did it 20 years ago.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
so that it keeps changing.
That's
yeah.
excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Well, cool.
Well,
Let's
take a break.
I was going to say let's take a quick
Okay.
break and then we'll come back.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Welcome back to the Ivory Attic. We're here with Dr. Jocelyn Swigger from Gettysburg College, and Kurt. What segment are we going into?
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah,
It is
Did you know?
That's the one.
That's the one. You still legally can't say it. So what we've been trying to do is we've been talking to Dean Chat about trying to figure out quizzes for our contestants. And Dean Chat's been kind of a letdown these days.
Yeah. It's actually, she's done some real stinkers lately.
She has. And
is this one a better one?
I think ever since we gave Dean Chat her entire podcast episode,
Yeah.
she's gotten a little bit lazy.
Yeah, no, I think so as well.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Or maybe the questions I've asked are just not good enough, which is from what I heard a thing. So we have a few questions to ask. These are quiz questions, and they're multiple choice.
Are they
Okay.
funny? They're very funny.
I can't guarantee that. It all depends on delivery, and it depends.
Okay, well, you better really
I
sell
will
it.
try-
I want to
my best.
I want you to really rev this thing up. Let's go.
Okay. Why did the piano break up with the metronome? A, it was too controlling. B, it kept ticking them off. C, it couldn't keep up. Or D, it was a major issue.
Those are all dumb.
Yeah. Well, so that's actually four punchlines, none of which are that
okay,
great.
sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. She got it right. She got you got the first one right. Congratulations.
But shall I try to guess what the AI
yeah,
Let's see
guessed?
what the
Yeah.
AI. Yeah.
Probably the ticking them off.
Absolutely.
See? All right.
So then after I asked the first question, which was for a funny piano-themed quiz for the professor, I didn't like what I was getting. So then I changed the question. And I said, please make it funnier and a bit sharper. So,
okay.
Yeah, so they tried to make it both of those things, and we'll see whether that happened. Why did the piano professor cancel their date with the harpsichordist?
Fascinating.
Too much Baroque baggage? Couldn't handle the lack of dynamics? Didn't want to get plucked into anything serious?
So the didn't want to get plugged into anything serious is actually kind of funny. So I'm going to give it to that, even though I'm sure that's not the right answer.
That is absolutely
All right. Excellent. All right, we're moving in the right direction. All right. Come on, bring us home.
So then I was like, this is still not great.
Bring us home. Here we go.
Work in Agnes Tyrrell and combine the best of all of these jokes.
Oh, okay. All right.
That work in and combine. Okay. Why did Agnes Tyrrell never return her library books? Because they were checked out.
Wow.
She was composing a symphony in A minor excuse. Because even her returns were underappreciated. And D, she modulated and vanished into history.
I think E, all of the above. Well done, G-Chat.
I was
Or
gonna
whatever. No,
say.
not G-Chat. What is this? Dean Chat? Somebody?
Dean Chat. Yes.
I'm going to say, what was the underappreciated one?
Even her returns were underappreciated.
Let's do that one.
Congratulations. You went 3 for 3.
A perfect
A
score.
perfect score.
Well done.
I think D, all
right.
of the above was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the underappreciated was, and it said, because they also give you the reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in parentheses it says, because this is too real.
Wow.
So
I don't really know what to
I
say
don't know
about
what that
that.
means either. Yeah.
So I'm going to thank Dean Chat.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, good job, Dean Chat.
Yeah. That's
I take
yeah.
it back about them all being the beginning
Yeah.
ones were bad, but good job at the end.
I was gonna say she came around
good
at
job.
the end.
You are welcome. Piano keys, smiley face.
Oh, excellent.
That's so nice.
Piano
Well-
keys, smiley face back.
Yeah, exactly. That
Well, that was almost a colossal failure.
that was close. I think it's time to move on to our next segment.
I think it is definitely time to move on. And our next segment's called what?
I was gonna take it from you, but I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
What's your style? Our question about style in many different forms, depending on how our guest wants to answer.
Exactly. For entirely up to you. So yeah. So Jocelyn, what's your style?
I mean, I think I'm local color. Sort of
good.
thrift store fashionista, a little bit of I woke up like this.
I like it. That's good.
I like to wear clothes that make people smile when they see me, and sometimes that means that I dress like a 5-year-old.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have now? Have you always? Do you feel like your style has remained constant through your life, or is this like an evolving?
I think I've always liked bright colors and colors and colorful. I like beautiful, colorful things, and I've always liked that.
Sure.
I certainly went through a big phase in my 20s where I wore all black all the time, which is great for spilling coffee, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I still love black very much for that.
Was this reflecting an existential 20s thing?
I mean, I think I maybe thought I looked cool.
Okay.
It could have also been part of it. But the thing about the spilling coffee is real. But actually, I went to a Sweet Honey on the Rock concert. They're this wonderful a cappella group years ago here, actually, at the Majestic Theater. And they did a costume change in the middle, so they had an intermission with a costume change. And in the first half, they were wearing these beautiful, bright, just beautiful, bright colors, African prints, gorgeous. Okay. And then they came back on the second half, and they were wearing these also beautiful, elegant, clearly made for them, really beautiful fabric, interesting, intricate fabric, all black. Yeah. And it just felt the room went, it got smaller. And I was like, oh my God, I'm spending my whole life in the second half of the show. Wait, no. So, yeah, I like to wear bright colors, especially if the skies are gray. I'm likely to wear purple rain boots and bright colors.
So I love seeing you on campus. And I definitely do, because I am very much a gray earth tone human being. And
you guys are about as far on the opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Right, but then I'll see you on your bicycle flash by, and it's this sudden burst of color in my life, and it's wonderful.
This is what I'm going for.
Yeah. Very nice.
There's a character on the show Schitt's Creek named Jocelyn who is not meant to be somebody whose clothing you admire. And there's a line where David, who's this very scornful, snobby New York character, says, Jocelyn likes to wear lots of very loud floral patterns. And I was like, oh God, I feel seen.
That's good. I feel like you should get a picture of him quoting it. That'd be good. Put that up in the office. That's great. Do you? You mentioned actually doing the concerts. How? Because there tends to be a very I think it's maybe loosened slightly in the past few years.
It's a lot of black.
But I was going to say there's definitely you're supposed to there's something you're supposed to wear and something right.
Well, so there's a reason for concert black. When you have a big group, concert black is great because it can unify the group and everybody has it, so nobody has to go shopping, right? Right. But I'm serious, If you don't have to find the exact right navy blue to match everybody else's navy blue, right? You just wear concert black, you have it, it's easy, the group looks uniform, it's terrific. Yeah. A lot of times people will do black with pop of color, which is good. My student piano concerts here, I tell them the dress code is hipster fancy, but they're also playing just by themselves, right? I mostly, in my solo concerts, try not to wear black on stage because I want it to be a pop of color and look interesting. Yeah. I do try to match what I wear on stage to what I'm playing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, when I did my Chopin Etudes sort of tour, lots of years ago now, it was in 2014 to 2017 is when I was doing that. I was wearing orange. I had an orange dress that I wore every time for that concert, and I wore ballet slippers because I like to pedal with bare feet. I have a dress that I've worn for a lot of my Agnes concerts, but I'm not going to wear it for the Etudes, and I'm still figuring out exactly what I'm going to be wearing for the Etudes.
Oh, that's fine.
Stay tuned. I love the idea of wearing a pantsuit for the Agnes pieces because of the whole feminism angle of things, which may or may not happen. Stay tuned.
I like that. I will say, and I know you're in the exact same scenario. As the father of two boys who are in a lot of music things that are growing, our new size every week.
Right.
Being able to replace the one set of black pants with the other set of black pants.
It's good, right?
It's actually quite.
It's very
nice.
good. Yeah.
I love that idea of matching your clothes to what you're performing. Right. I really like that, and I bet I probably do that when I teach sometimes, now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. Just I'm sure if I'm teaching the Second World War, maybe I'll wear a tie that reminds me of the Second World War or something.
That's great.
That's
great.
And you probably do too.
I do. Well, but I also, a lot of it, I will say, the clothes thing is actually really, I definitely have clothes that I wear when I'm in different moods.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
Mm-hmm.
mine are actually very mood based. Like
Yeah.
that actually overrides what I'm teaching. I also, you're assuming that I remember what I'm teaching when I'm getting dressed, which is an enormous assumption.
Yeah, especially this year. This year was a long year.
I figured that out, yeah. But yeah, so no, for me it really is like I feel like there are times when I feel like being sleeker. And so then like I wear like lots of skinny ties.
Oh,
And then there are times when I feel like being kind of a little bit more up like it's I don't know, I feel like my class has been kind of like I don't know, like dragging and stuff like that. So I'll wear like a really loud bow tie, trying to like
a
kind of
clown.
slow things out. Like a clown. That's exactly right. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's what we're all doing out there.
that's what.
Well, I think we've done it. We've worked hard enough.
I think we've worked hard enough. Is there anything else you'd like to work in?
This has been really fun. Thank you.
Yeah, we've
All right.
loved having you on. So
Well,
now we're going into the best part of the
I was going
segment.
to say now you've
That's
done
not true.
now you've done all the work.
Yeah, you've done all the work.
And now it's time for me to do some work.
That's right.
To hopefully make it worthwhile.
So we'll take a little bit of a break.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the Ivory Attic. I'm Ian Isherwood.
And I'm Kurt Andreessen.
And we're here with Jocelyn Swigger from Gettysburg College. And we are moving into our final segment, which is Kurt's Cocktail Corner.
All right, Justin, do you want to talk about what you were thinking about with this cocktail?
Yes, but first, I'm certain I have never ever drunk a cocktail in my office before.
Oh, well, that makes one of us.
That makes one person in this room.
I was going to say, that's 1 out of 3.
I feel so transgressive. I love it.
You're doing work right now. I just want to make this clear. So this is a work drink. Yeah.
So I asked for a cocktail celebrating Agnes Tyrrell.
Right. It had a really good name.
I was thinking of Tyrellova.
I think it's a perfect name.
perfect name.
It's a perfect name. Yeah.
Because in the Czech language they do ova for the female name. Yeah. Anyway. Yes. Tyrellova.
No, it's perfect.
Thank you.
And you mentioned trying to capture some parts of her personality. I think.
So I've got the description here.
Yeah,
If you don't mind me reading
please.
it. Yeah. Maybe a variant of a cosmopolitan or a Kir Royale. Joyful, not bitter, complicated, but definitely accessible. Possibly humorous, delightful, or definitely delightful. I think that's great.
That's
more
what I
than
went
enough for Kurt.
That's
to
what
go
I
with.
went. That's what I went for. Hopefully, I hit at least some of those. All right, well, let's try it out.
I like
That's
it.
very nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
Wow. I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, no, that's right. We'll see if Ian can grab anything.
Oh, I'm so good at this, right?
Yeah.
I'm 0 for what?
However many
episodes
episodes we've done.
Well, it's definitely got some sparkling wine in it. That's what's
Yeah,
really
it does. That it does. You also saw me open that bottle though, so I'm not going to give you that one.
good. Oh, man.
I can see the teeny bubbles.
Yeah, I can see the teeny
Yeah.
bubbles. It's got some cranberry in it.
Close.
No?
It's cassis.
Oh, it's cassis.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
And
good.
So it's cassis, sparkling wine. What else?
Well, so yeah, the cassis was because I feel like I was thinking about because in the brief in Wikipedia article that I was looking at with her trying to get some background about just kind of where she'd been things like and she spent a lot of time in Austria, a fair amount I think, right?
She spent some time in Vienna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I was this was part of I assume this was probably some of the time where she was most likely to actually get something resembling a cocktail and things like this, and so. I tried to grab some of that, which is always like cassis. I also thought she probably spent some time around, I don't know, when I think of that kind of part of the world, I think of trees and some forests of that. So I put there's actually some, it is fir. Yeah, some
FIR.
Oh, FIR. Okay.
No, FIR. FIR liqueur in it.
Really?
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
There's
yeah,
such a
to
thing
get-
as fur liqueur?
There is.
Wow.
And so there's a little bit of that. That comes from Clear Creek Distillery. And then the other thing, when I was reading about what the most popular liquor was back in that time, what people were largely drinking, the most of what I read said there was a fair amount of absinthe just flowing all around that time.
Yeah.
And so that's why we had a spritz of that
absinthe,
on
yeah.
top.
Oh,
So-
I was wondering what that spritz
And
was.
also,
Okay.
it's related to, artists are, in their absinthe. And
They're all in their absinthe.
Yeah, the Bohemian
I don't think
lifestyle.
Agnes was. I mean, her handwriting is too neat. I think for
She couldn't have
her
had that
being
much.
hopped up on
She
absinthe all
couldn't.
the
She couldn't
time.
have had that much given
Right.
given how well she writes.
maybe just the occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's why we just have a little
Yeah,
bit,
no,
just
it's
enough
lovely.
to get us through.
I'm a big-
Lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. What's yours?
It's also in this beautiful little goblet.
Yeah, I actually these I don't actually drink a lot of things out because so they're silver goblets.
It looks like a communion set.
Yeah, it may be. I think I got it at a yard sale somewhere.
Okay.
I like them. They look really pretty. Things look pretty inside of them. But it always kind of bothers me that I can't look through my cocktail.
Yeah.
And so I tend to not use them as much because I like.
The sort of buried roses on the side of the glass are kind of perfect.
Yeah,
for
they're
this.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it still feels like the right. It feels like the right. I was going to say glassware, but that's not the right word.
Stemware.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
What? I think that's it. What do you think?
I think we've.
Did we
done
get it?
I think we've done
All
it.
right. Well, wonderful. Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for
Thank you
joining
so
us.
much.
And telling us and the world a little bit more about this great composer. And we look forward to hearing all the other stuff that we get to learn about her as you
And
kind
we
of move
look
forward with
forward.
this
We
project.
look forward to your recital in September too. It's
Absolutely.
going to be amazing. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And for those of you who want to follow us on social media, we're on all the social media venues. I think we've mostly migrated away from Twitter X, so we're now in Blue Sky with all of the other academic exiles.
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook, of course.
Yeah. And what do they look up for that?
It's the Ivory Attic on Facebook. It's Ivory Attic on both those venues. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it's
not
Ivory
weird.
Attic. I
X
think
was the only one that was
X
weird.
was the only one that was weird. Now we got rid of it.
Now we got rid
it's
of it.
kind of perfect.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Jocelyn, especially, and join us next time for another rummage through the Ivory Attic.
You didn't let me say my name.
I'm Ian Isherwood.
I'm Kurt Andrews.
I can't believe I keep messing this up.